Should you buy gold or silver? We will look at a number of factors, including the pros and cons of each, for a truly unbiased view to see which metal is right for you. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Campbell's Coins. I'm asked on a fairly regular basis, should I stack gold or should I stack silver? The problem with giving an answer in a video is people tend to react negatively to it when you don't promote what they believe in.
God damn it! I don't know how to express myself unless through anger and personal attack!
But thankfully, I couldn't care less for incel rage. Hopefully, you have an open mind, and hopefully, this video shows an unbiased view of the two metals, the pros and cons of each. That way, you're able to decide for yourself if one is better for you over the other, or if you should stack both. Before we dive into the pros and cons of each metal, let's go over some similarities. In case it wasn't obvious to you, both are scarce precious metals, with gold being roughly 9 times rarer than silver in the Earth's crust. Both are fairly soft metals and susceptible to dings and wear. Both have been a hedge against inflation in the past. We can cherry pick data all day long to suit our story of performance, so bear with me here. In the last 20 years, both have performed exceptionally well, with gold's annual rate of return around 8.7%, and silver at around 6.7%. In fact, gold outperformed the S&P 500 during this 20-year period. If we were to widen our gaze or shorten this time frame, we would see these performances both improve and decline. I like looking at performance over a longer period because both gold and silver perform very well over a greater span of time. Neither are a great investment in bullion form because one can often get greater gains in a shorter period of time with a variety of other assets. In terms of collectible coins, which I recently did a video about, both can do really well as an investment. Check out that video for details about collectible gold versus collectible silver coins. Both are wealth outside a system, which is increasingly turning into Big Brother. Both can be passed down to other generations without anyone knowing about it. You can't hack these metals. In a beginning era of AI dominance and the theft of digital information, it's nice having something outside the digital space which no one can touch. Gold and silver both come in a variety of sizes, a different size for any size wallet. Literally, anyone can own these metals, especially if you plan your finances well. Let's kick off this comparison with silver. Silver is fairly cheap. As of August 4th, 2023, spot price for 1 ounce is $23.50. This is 50% from its all-time high. I don't tell people to stack silver because of this price difference. I tell them to buy silver because silver is used in just about every aspect of our lives, from yoga pants to solar panels and 1,000 uses in between, with more uses being discovered. Silver is not a plentiful metal, so the price will have to rise to reflect scarcity at some point. There are a few out there who don't advocate for silver, and they only look at price performance and use that as the only indicator why you shouldn't own much of this metal. But they truly fail at pointing out silver's increasing scarcity and increasing industrial usage. These individuals will, ironically, be the first ones chirping that you should own silver when the price of silver starts to take off. There's really something disingenuous about folks like that. Silver's potential really shines in its price. It's fairly cheap right now to buy just 1 ounce coins, rounds, or bars. But watch out. When silver decides to break out, it's a rocket. In a short span of time, silver can outperform gold. This is pretty easy to do when one metal is $25 from its all-time high, while the other is, pretty near its all-time high. To be fair, if we were to look at the long run, and if we don't cherry-pick dates, gold outperforms silver quite handedly. Also, just as quickly as silver rises in price, it can fall. So bear all these things in mind when deciding. Do I know when silver will break out? No. Can it happen overnight? It has. The problem is, the silver market has changed so much over the last 50 years, we don't really know what's going to happen. Many quote-unquote experts that you often see on Kitco and the like have called for much higher silver prices over the last 3 years, but it hasn't happened. Even with moderate inflation, silver hasn't done much. It's scarcer, used more than ever before, but its price doesn't reflect this usage. And there are incentives for companies to keep a metal's price down. While silver's price hasn't been that great when looking at its roller coaster performance over the last few decades, I see this changing in the next 10 to 20 years. I could be wrong, but I'm comfortable with the amount I've allocated towards silver. If I am wrong, I'm not concerned. You should keep silver's price history in mind when you go to buy. Because silver is so cheap, one is able to purchase a good amount of it. So much so, weight and storage can become an issue. Silver on average has higher premiums attached to each piece compared to gold. This is why you see so many silver sellers on Instagram, whatnot, Facebook, and YouTube. These sellers can make more off of you selling silver than they can gold. In an emergency, silver can be easier to sell than gold due to its lower spot price. Plus, you wouldn't have to sell a full ounce of gold when you only need to cover $600. If you have a bigger expense to cover, gold will handle it. Personally, I believe that you should have a reserve of cash ready to cover said emergency expense or otherwise. This eliminates the need to sell off a portion of your stack, not to mention the hassle of selling on short notice. Another major pro to silver is the metal itself when discussing designs. Silver is a great metal to work with. The exact same design in a coin looks better in silver than gold, for the most part. Sometimes this isn't true, and it depends entirely on the design. I feel silver really stands out as a proof where gold just looks great. Silver is out of this world. When staring at the dark pools of a silver coin, one feels that they can dive right on in. I don't get the same feeling with gold. I don't own too many gold proofs for this reason. Speaking of design, if a design is released in gold, it is often released in silver, which allows folks to get the design that they like without forking over a lot of cash. There are some designs released in silver that just would not do well in gold. One of gold's biggest pro is also a con. Gold is a lot more expensive when compared to silver, which would seem like a con, but one is able to fit a lot more wealth in a smaller package. Here is a 100-gram gold bar compared to a 100-gram silver bar. The gold is a lot smaller because it's denser. Gold is an extremely dense metal, and in addition to its price, its density makes gold ideal for stealth storage. What makes gold great for wealth preservation is its ability to combat instability. You don't see wild price swings with gold. If you're a first-time gold buyer, one of the first things you'll notice, no matter the size that you purchase, is how small gold is. Here's a 1-ounce American Silver Eagle compared to a 1-ounce American Gold Buffalo. You can see how much smaller the gold coin is compared to the silver. $2,000 in gold looks a lot different than $2,000 in silver too. If space and transportation were a necessity for you, gold is a better option. That brings us to the biggest con for gold, its price. As of August 4th, 2023, the spot price of 1-ounce gold is $1,935. That's a nice chunk of change for someone to cough up for such a tiny piece of metal. But because gold is so compact, a tube of gold eagles or gold buffaloes, which is 20 coins, is worth around $40,000. This tube can be hidden almost anywhere. No matter where you store this, you're not taking up much space. In terms of industrial usage, gold doesn't have a ton compared to silver. So its price won't fall so much when a recession or depression hits. Just the opposite. Its price goes up as people flock to the safe haven asset. When gold becomes too costly, people turn to silver to buy, rapidly increasing silver's price due to demand. Another point the gold purists out there conveniently forget. Gold is literally indestructible. Yes, it wears, but that rubbed off gold does not disappear. Gold is created during supernova events and the collision of neutron stars. It's pretty special stuff. On an interesting note, the Aztec word for gold is Teocuotela, which translates to excrement of the gods. And I know, I'm probably butchered that word. My bad. Gold is one of the least reactive of the elements, and has a host of very unique properties, including malleability. This 5-foot square sheet of gold was created by a 5 millimeter gold nugget. Unlike silver, gold doesn't tarnish or form an oxide film on its surface. It doesn't rust. Gold has been cherished by humanity for millennia. More important and directly related to this channel, gold is the most popular precious metal for wealth preservation. The United States used to use precious metals like gold and silver as currency up until 1933. Most Western economies' currencies were on the gold standard until 1971. Which is best between these two metals? Really, that answer is up to you, your situation, your finances. Do you have the storage to handle the silver you want to get? Are you okay with paying a higher premium over gold? Those who say silver isn't a good buy because its potential isn't guaranteed, well, they're flat out lying to you. We've all seen silver's performance time and time again. To say that you're unsure where silver is ultimately headed is biased nonsense. Silver is 50% from its all-time high. Gold is 5% from its all-time high. Gold, while very near all-time high, is no slouch. It's a lot of wealth in a tiny coin or bar. I've often said that gold is a BS indicator. We saw gold's price steadily climb leading up to the 2008 crash. Then it reached an all-time high price in 2011. People knew something was wrong with the economy and bought accordingly. The same is true right now. How can they say that the economy is so great, yet gold is in the 1900s? It's literally been in the $18,000 to $2,000 range consistently for 4 years. It's had some very temporary dips, but it's always managed to claw back. But how is it in this range for nearly 4 years and we have a strong economy? Especially when you look at 2011 when it hit this range for less than a year, and this is when the global economy was melting down. Gold is a great BS indicator, and this high price means that things are not well. Ultimately, I feel that you should buy both. I've talked about the simplicity and ease of use of owning just one type of gold coin, either the American Gold Eagle or the American Gold Buffalo. This makes things very uncomplicated when you go to sell. If you want to have wealth outside the system, and you're not trying to stack all sorts of different metals, personally, I would stick to buying either Gold Eagles or Gold Buffaloes if you're in the US. Gold Eagles are really nice because they come in fractional sizes. Outside the US, stack the gold sovereign for your country. If, however, you want wealth outside the system and you don't mind playing a little investment game, get some silver. I have videos out discussing what I feel is the better silver to buy, and I have videos diving into the specific types of gold to buy. Check out those if you are interested. Your time is your most precious asset, and I appreciate you spending it here with me. Thank you all for watching. This is Campbell's Coins, and that is my 2 cents.